All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, we are actually joined by punk rock veterans. These individuals have been in the punk rock community for over 30 years. We have 30FootFall right here, live on 99.9 FM here in Prescott, Ontario, and of course, Facebook and YouTube as well. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing this evening?
Oh, all right.
Very good.
Very happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Hey, you are most certainly welcome, guys. First and foremost, I gotta say, I've been a huge fan of 30FootFall for so many years, man. So just being able to chat with you guys this evening on my radio station is such an absolute honor, man. And I feel forever grateful. So thank you so much for a little bit of your time here this evening.
Well, that's great. Thank you for your support and for having us here.
But I know you guys are very busy individuals, so of course I'm not going to keep you away from your evening too long, but I got to take you back to the year 1993, 30 years ago, where you guys actually played your very first show on Mother's Day. I was wondering, looking back on that day, I was wondering if you can actually just tell us ultimately about that show, and of course, what ultimately made you guys decide to come together to form this band?
Whoa. Okay. Jeez. Okay. While they're thinking of this,
I took it there, yeah.
Let's see.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Fun fact, on the Mother's Day show, I was there and I would soon be the vocalist, but somebody else did that first show and didn't have any lyrics and just did 9 songs worth of blah 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 blah, and so yes, that was 30FootFall's introduction to the world, and it was not really a bang. It was sort of a excuse me,
a shove.
Thanks for here. But and
it was
now
a coffee shop. We played a coffee shop.
Oh yeah.
That was attached to a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
And now, what made us want to do the band? Rubio and I. I'm Butch. This is Chris. This is Brian. That's Rubio. Rubio and I went to the same high school, and I guess we didn't have any further plans for life. And as it turns out, Rubio and another friend from high school had picked up some instruments and started messing around. And I said, if you ever need anybody, and so they called. And at that time, other friends in Houston, like the Houston scene, was pretty nuts in the '90s. Like everybody had a band, and everybody went to see everybody's band. And I was excited because I thought, well, maybe I can be in a band, and then we did. And I don't know how we got 30 years down the road.
How did we get here?
We didn't quit. We've had more active periods than others, but COVID is really the first time that we ever went longer than a year without playing a show. There was just it just wasn't going to happen. I will ramble on if you don't interrupt.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I just like hearing the old stories, man. But I do have to ask, because obviously, you actually said that there was a different vocalist actually for 30FootFall just for that Mother's Day show. And when you said it was pretty much just like no lyrics, I have to ask, how did the crowd at that coffee shop actually perceive that performance? Like, were they kind of like booing? Were they just kind of like, what the heck's going on? Or were they actually cheering? Like, did they actually vibe to it?
Well, Butch was in the crowd, so
Yeah.
I think everybody perceived it. It was all right. Musically, I guess it was okay. The singer that we had, we kind of had a falling out a couple of days prior to that, and another guy just kind of stepped in to help out. A friend of ours at the time, and he just kind of stepped in and helped out where he could. He had a few lyrics for something, but most of it was made up on the spot.
So it was almost an instrumental. The first show was almost an instrumental.
Just about. Yeah, he was using his voice as an instrument.
But the guy that was singing later went on to form a rap band group with our original guitar player. They were called I-45. So it kind of fell along the lines him having to improvise lyrics, freestyle, and it worked out later on for them, because they were very well known, especially in the southern region of the United States.
definitely in 77002, they were pretty well known in that particular zip code. But I gotta say that the one thing I remember about crowd response in that first show was that was a Sunday night.
It was a Sunday night.
And so I kind of feel like after every song it was punctuated by the feeling of everybody in here has to go to work tomorrow. So, there was a guy yelling blah, blah, blah at you, and you got to go to work tomorrow, and it's Sunday. That was our first show.
And also as well, guys, in the same year of 1993, excuse me, you guys actually released your first demo titled Near Town. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more actually about this particular demo, and of course, what was it like just actually releasing this on Fallen Down Productions?
That first day was recorded at my parents' house with a mobile recording studio. Somebody came to the house, so we're all in different rooms. And Butch was throwing F-bombs around my mom. It was pretty interesting to say the least. And,
well, the part of the song, rich white people suck, rich white people suck. That was all yelling, and I was in their bedroom, in Rubio's parents' bedroom. The door was closed while this was happening, and then when the song ended, I came out to see how it went. His mom was standing there and just kind of looking around like a shocked older lady might do if somebody was just yelling in her bedroom.
Old fashioned.
Yeah, she was old school. But that was exciting in every way because none of us had been in a band before. None of us had done anything before, and so everything was, let's call this guy that has a studio. Let's find out where we can get tapes duplicated. Let's figure out, this guy, he'll charge me $40 because he's got a scanner. He'll be able to put our name on the spine of the J card. Yeah, like a real band.
Yeah, it was truly DIY. It was a learning. We learned it all as we went along. So.
And obviously as well, there was no streaming services back in 1993, obviously, but has this actually since been uploaded to the internet for the new generation of 30FootFall fans to actually kind of listen to and absorb?
I hope not.
It's out there somewhere.
There are some on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
I did see a few of them actually for sale on Discogs. I think they were going for a hefty penny, but I mean, if you're a 30FootFall fan and you really want that project, just break your wallet a little bit and it could be yours.
Actually, some people. There's a guy in Argentina who has collected pretty much all of our releases, and I think he has that release too. So it was pretty surprising that how the hell he got it, we don't know, but.
Yeah, there's a guy on Instagram, that Mr. Matt's vinyl collection, that has somehow everything that we've done. Like he has. I don't have everything that we've done.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. Thank you, everybody.
And also as well, early on in 30FootFall's history, you actually had the opportunity to open up for some amazing bands, and one of them actually being Ajax, Ontario, Canada's own Sum 41. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about that opportunity, and of course, what is one of your most fondest memories you actually recall of just being on tour with Sum 41?
Actually, we never did a tour. We just did a show in Houston.
It was a packed show, and there were a lot of people there, and it was a pretty strange experience because we normally would play to a pretty big crowd, but we knew everybody in the crowd. We played in a bigger spot with Sum 41, and the place was packed, and we didn't recognize anybody.
Right.
It was the Twilight Zone. It was, it was a fun evening. Yeah. But we didn't tour with them. We did do a bunch of shows with Gob, and those guys were super cool, super friendly.
Love Gob.
We did a U.S. tour with Gob.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got to say, I actually had the opportunity to interview them and become friends with them. And like you said, some of the most amazing individuals. Like Gob, definitely a great group of guys, man, just to be able to chill with.
Tom, right?
Tom.
Yeah, Tom made us pancakes.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have to ask, how was his cooking? Like, how was his pancakes?
I could have used more, but there were a lot of us there. But as a pancake goes, they were good. They were good pancakes.
Rationed.
They were rationed pancakes.
And also, as well, you guys actually received an offer from Dexter Holland of The Offspring to actually release your album, Ever Revolving, Never Evolving. I was wondering if you can just tell us a story much behind that deal, and of course, how did you guys ultimately get discovered by Dexter?
By going to Nitro Records and asking if we could talk to him. Right?
Something like that. We were prior to Nitro. We were on Fearless Records, and Bob Becker from Fearless Records had found us through basically through Jim Cherry. Jim Cherry used to be the bass player for Strung Out. We had done a show in Houston with Face to Face and Strung Out, and became friends with Jim. And Jim kind of introduced Bob Becker to us. And so we got hooked up with Bob Becker and Fearless Records that way. In turn, we met Nitro, some people at Nitro, and that's how we got into meeting with Brian or Dexter.
Yeah, and Barry hooking us up with Bob Becker got our song "Junior High Sucked" on the first Punk Bites compilation, and it was we were the only band not from California on it, and it was our first song that whether or not anyone was listening to it, we did not know, but it was likely that somebody out of state was hearing our song, and that was fairly exciting.
And when Dexter actually first heard your guys' music and heard this album, obviously after it was done and produced and get ready to actually be sent to the stores, what was his ultimate just, impression of your guys' music?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah. So, we went to see him twice. The first time was, hey, look, we are a band. We are doing it with or without anyone's help. This is what it looks like. Here's our stuff. We're booking our own tours. We can do the work. And he said, okay, well, nice to meet you. And then we came around a second time, and I don't know why or how it worked out, but I don't remember ever talking to him again. I just know that we got the go ahead to do it, and we were stoked. And that when we broke down, they sent us money so we could not be broken down.
And also as well, speaking of record deals as being a part of records, today you guys are currently signed to the amazing label People of Punk Rock Records. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about working alongside that particular label, and of course, how did you guys ultimately get connected with them, because they have such an amazing roster currently today in 2023.
He reached out to Butch for like 2 years.
Anthony
reached out to Butch for like 2 years, and I don't know why. We were kind of not really busy, and I don't know if we talked about it multiple times, but never really pursued anything. And then at some point, after COVID happened, and we kind of started thinking about doing some shows again, Butch kind of talked about it again with the band and said, hey, there's this thing that this guy Anthony's been reaching out to me, and I haven't really said anything or committed. And then at some point it just.
Well, he had been wanting to put out Doppler Effect, our 2002 self-released album. He wanted to put that out on an LP, and never really put an answer in. And he was always asking, politely every now and then. He just kind of check in to see what was going on. And after we played a show for the first time in a long time, or the first or second time since COVID last September, he sent another message. Hey, still here if you would like to do that. And so we said, well, what do we got to do? And he was just, send me the artwork and the CD and I will make it. And it was just like that. And the night that we were talking about that in this room, Rubio said, what would be really cool would be if we could get on that Red Bridge Fest. And then the next day, Anthony says, by the way, I booked bands for this festival called Red Bridge Fest. And we were like, holy shit. And so we found out we were going to go, and we've just kind of been stoked ever since. And when we went to Red Bridge Fest, the people of punk rock were just the best hosts. Everybody in Quebec was awesome. Like the whole crowd was just nice people, having a good time, and they really went above and beyond for taking care of bands. Especially, we hadn't been out in a long time, and it was the best vacation I've been on in a long time.
Yeah. And it happened really fast too. Like from the point at which we submitted, the artwork and the music. I mean, just a few days. I felt like a few days later, he was sending us, like mock-ups of the artwork and everything. So once it started, once we actually sent them the music and the artwork, everything happened really fast. So they were great. They've been awesome.
Yeah, they're definitely a phenomenal label. Like me personally, I never spoke to Anthony, but with that being said, just looking at his roster, I purchased a few CDs actually from their website, and honestly, the service, as a customer, the service is absolutely phenomenal. And the roster list between you guys, another Joe, 10-foot pole, I mean, like the list goes on of just amazing bands that are under People of Punk Rock Records.
We're pretty fortunate and grateful.
Absolutely. Hey, Anthony.
And also, May 5th of 2023, you guys actually released your most recent single titled Maybe You Could Be the One. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this song. And of course, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of it today?
Well,
it should be on every platform.
Yeah, you can listen to it pretty much everywhere. And, steal it if you must own it, because I don't think it's actually for sale anywhere, is it?
I mean, I think you can pay for it on the platforms that sell like iTunes.
Okay, well, if you would like to pay for it, it's out there.
That's pretty cool too.
Golly, what was the second part of this question?
What's it about?
Well, the song is, I guess, I am 50 now. Rubio's older than that. But in the last 10 years, it has occurred to me that I made it this far, and I'm not dead, and not in jail, and I had never been able to picture this part of life, and maybe just coming out of the confusion of the haze of partying and everything else that happens as a youth. I thought, well, I don't know what that was all about, but the idea that someone who has been there can turn around and like help someone come in behind them, whether it's in music or in life. Well, that's what Maybe You Could Be the One is about. And then the last part of the bridge was a bit about our departed guitarist, Chris LaForge. He died in 2017. And well, I don't know, just think about him. We think about him a lot, and that the words to the last part of the song are for him.
And also, September 26th, you guys actually posted an announcement on Facebook and Instagram where you actually stated new show announcements and new music coming soon. From what you are allowed to speak about, I was wondering, what can our listeners actually expect from not only these show announcements, but of course, the up-and-coming music when it does actually get released to the general public?
We're just gonna basically start doing some weekend warrior type stuff.
Touring.
To try to get on the road a little bit more without losing our
Not getting fired.
day jobs.
Yeah, everybody here has to work, so we're hoping that we can, do weekends away and hopefully get on a couple of few festivals a year, so we could, see everybody, play to a lot of people, make an appearance, but then, not get fired for not working. Yeah,
and come back to Canada is on the list.
without a doubt.
So.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, obviously, aside from these announcements coming soon, what is next for 30FootFall? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you guys still want to touch on, talk about, or promote?
We are working on new songs right now. We are spinning our practices now, warming up with a couple of oldies, and then running through new stuff the way we did it a long time ago. Not so much via email and everybody kind of learning their part, but we're working them out in the space, since we're no longer a roaming band. We have a practice space. We've got a bunch of songs that we're working on, and our hope is to get 10 or 12 together and go in the studio and produce another full length.
That's in addition to we have 5 or 6 songs already recorded. We're just trying to get it mastered right now and send it off to people from Prescott to get released. So I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks that'll be done with that.
So yeah, we have a new EP coming out, and then beyond that, we have actual new music that we're working on that's even more new than the new EP that hadn't come out yet. If that makes sense.
It's newer, new.
Yeah. It's the newest of the new.
And also, guys, obviously I know how to follow you guys on social media, but for the individuals that aren't that social media savvy or might just be discovering you guys right now, how can they go about following not only 30FootFall as a band itself, but of course individual members as well across all social media platforms?
Well, I mean,
30FootFall on Facebook, 30FootFall HDX on Instagram, and we're all attached to it as well.
Yeah.
All of our profiles are attached to the sites. So,
is your son? We're doing the TikToks.
Oh yeah.
and TikTok,
We're on TikTok too. We're still kind of learning how to do that. We're not great at it, but
we're not good at 30-second dances. Or lip syncing also.
But I'm going to say first and foremost, guys, it was such an honor speaking with you individuals this evening. Like I said, I've been a huge fan of you guys for a long time, so just being able to converse with you guys and chat and talk about your guys' history leading up until today is such an honor, man. So thank you so much for years of amazing music. Thank you so much for a little bit of your time, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon when the new music does initially get released to the general public.
Absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, you are most certainly welcome, guys. Definitely have yourselves a phenomenal night out there in Texas. We definitely shall talk soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It is. Thank you, guys.